Welcome to week 3 of season 1 2025 IndyCar Oval Fixed Track Guides brought to you by P1 Broadcasting. This is Klendy, and we're going to take a look around the Auto Club Speedway, or the California Speedway, however you'd like to call it, which sadly is no longer functional. It is a 2-mile D-shaped oval with 5 usable lanes of racing surface. You'll see these Indy cars getting to speeds of excess of 235 miles an hour down the straightaways in the draft, and fanning out 4 to 5 wide to make passes in the turns and on the straights. Key tips for this week include fuel mileage, managing your gap and lane changes, maximizing your pit road entry and exit, being smooth on the wheel and on the throttle, and leapfrogging to get to a lead with a driver you can trust. For qualifying, you'll probably want to have the bar 6 in the front and 1 in the rear. Be smooth on your outlap and be careful not to touch your right side tires to the white line. This will spin your car and you will invalidate your qualifying time. Keep your wheel as smooth as possible, and your second lap will be your fast lap. On your first lap, use the third or fourth lane to generate momentum, and do not over-rotate or scrub your tires too aggressively. You'll need every ounce of grip for your fast lap. Qualifying should be easy flat, as will any lap in clean air. These cars generate so much downforce and the track is so wide, it is very easy to run any line you'd like without lifting. However, when you are in traffic, lifting will save your tires and save you fuel. It will be very easy to catch up on the straights when you give up time in each corner. You do not want to give up any time in qualifying, however. You will use 5th gear, and you will modulate the weight jacker to help your car rotate here on your fast lap. Run the second or third lane coming to the white flag lap.
One more lap.
Keep your car close to the white line, but leave enough room for you to arc the entry so you don't push in the middle of the corner. Increasing your weight jacker to a number around 5 or 10, or maybe even 15 if you feel like you can handle a loose car, will be good in the corner. If you can, remove that weight jacker for those straightaways, and then replace it for turn 3. Stay as smooth as possible on the wheel, and when you exit turn 4, aim to the apron of the racetrack to cut as much radius of the front stretch as possible. Since it is curved, you want to keep your left sides as close to the grass as you can without touching it to gain speed.
You got about 2 laps of fuel there. Green flag,
Here you'll
green
see me
flag.
execute pit road exit incorrectly. I will be struggling to catch the pack here and push a little too hard.
Laps of fuel.
My right side tires hit the white line like I warned you not to do, and watch the chaos that unfolds. These are just AI drivers, no real drivers were harmed in the making of this video.
The yellow flag is out. Line up, single file. Pit road is closed.
To avoid this, try using minimal positive weight jacker or a 2 or 3 rear bar on pit exit. Also lift if you feel like the car is pushing up into the white line. Try to aim for the white line on the bottom of the track next to the grass, and avoid the white line by the apron or the racing surface.
Optional repairs are 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Catch up, 11 cars.
To maximize your pit road entry, I like to lift and brake where the grass ends. Make sure you've committed to pit road and you do not lock up the brakes. If you miss pit road entry speed, you will get a black flag, which will make you lose the draft. I was too fast on my first attempt, and watch this second attempt, which is better. From the second lane on old tires, here I lift at the grass, begin braking, have my wheel straight, don't lock up, down to first gear, limiter on. When racing in the pack, it is pivotal that you save fuel. You'll want to aim for a 5 mpg fuel number. If you use liters per lap, I don't know what that is. It's big. Or I guess it's small. Whatever. Cars will fan out 3 or 4 wide in the corners, but should get single file on the straights. You'll have ample time to lift and subsidize your speed with the chain of draft of the cars in front of you. The difference between an MPG number 4 and MPG number 5 is 6 gallons of fuel over the course of this race. That's several seconds spent on pit road that you don't have to be there if you're able to save fuel while the pack is all together. Be careful to avoid stack-ups, especially at the end of the front straightaway. Many cars will be lifting to hit a certain fuel number, and you'll be able to pass them easily. Just slot back in line and be cognizant of the gaps. To execute a swap draft, what you'll need is a car around you that you can trust. Basically, what you'll need to do is use the slingshot of the draft of your car to allow the car that is trailing to get to the bottom lane to allow you to leapfrog one another, literally putting the second place car into first, and then the first place car into second, and changing those positions every straightaway into every corner. It requires cooperation and is how 2 cars can be faster than a pack of cars. If executed well, you could do it with 3 cars as well. Here, the blue car wasn't quite fast enough on the bottom to stick with the other 2 leaders, and they'll continue to swap down the back straightaway and onto the front straightaway, switching positions back and forth to break away from the pack. You're able to do this and get okay fuel mileage, so you can kind of do both, as it's better than either one of you leading independently. When racing in the pack, be mindful. The leader will probably stick to the white line. If you follow right in their tire tracks, you will have oversteer. That means your car will naturally want to push up to the right of the racetrack. To manage that, you can go up on the weight jacker, up on the rear bar, or down on the front bar. Starting at 610 is probably recommended, but you could probably start at 520 as well. Here you can see me kind of carving my way through the pack and demonstrating that the top line works. 6th gear will be very fast on the straightaways, and you'll use 5th gear to get through the turns. Be mindful of where your nose is and always leave plenty of space. Be careful of using the seam lines as guidelines for the lanes you are in. They do not stay consistent on the track. Sometimes they vary in their placements. Here I go 3 wide, putting a car to my inside and my outside. Be careful when executing a move like that. It could be possible the cars in front of you will come back together and squeeze off your front wing or end your race. This is a late race restart. The leader will get away from you, but this is by design. Use the slingshot to your effect to try to pass them on the backstretch. If you're able to time it right, you'll be able to beat them in a dead heat to the line or just nose ahead. Be careful of them swapping back under you or using the apron on the front stretch. You'll need to be about 1 wheel ahead if you want to secure the win. If you chop them off in turn 3, you could go for a ride if you don't clear them. Make sure you're clear if you go to the white line, but you probably won't clear them, so just stick to the second lane and use the momentum you built down the backstretch. I win this race over former pro Jacob Oster by just over half a nose cone. Here you can view the same restart from the television cameras. Notice how we'll juke and fade down the backstretch, but Jacob will go back down to the white line to get the maximum speed and shortest distance for turns 3 and 4. Please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Make sure you have notifications on so you never miss a second of the racetrack. This has been Klendy, and I'll see you next week.